Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the January 17th, 2023 Town Board meeting. If everyone would please rise for the pledge to the flag. Sergio, could you lead us in a pledge?
Sure. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could please have a moment of silence for all our armed forces who serve us on a daily basis, keeping us free, and please keep in your thoughts and prayers all of our first responders that are out there on a daily basis, keeping us safe. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, from my right, we're going to do introductions.
Good evening, Diana Quast, Town Clerk.
Councilman Ed Lachterman, Deputy Supervisor.
Tom Diana, Supervisor.
Sergio Esposito, Councilman.
Luciana Howard, Councilwoman.
Dave Paganelli, Superintendent of Highways.
Adam Rodriguez, Town Attorney.
Okay. Reports from the Supervisor. Okay, we got just a brief reminder. I'm looking for volunteers. We have the Polar Plunge, 9 a.m. at Sparkle Lake on Saturday. Can I see a sign of hands, please? Anybody willing to do the Polar Plunge? All of you?
Jenny Menton.
There you go.
Jenny Menton and Brian Amico are willing. Okay, we're going to hold you both to that. Okay. We also have the Winters Farmer Market, 11 to 3 at the Jefferson Valley Mall. Mm-hmm. And we have, with regard to trash, so we're going to talk trash here again tonight with a little presentation from Brian Amico from Competitive Karting. And he's going to go over some of the routes and rules on what's going on with that. And just a brief reminder to folks, if you think that you're going to clear land, okay, within your property, please check with the tree law to make sure you're in compliance. There seems to be a lot of confusion. It is a very lengthy law and very confusing on what you can and cannot do. So, if you would, please check the tree law. If you have questions, you can call our engineering department at 914-962-5722, extension 220, and they'll be able to guide you appropriately on if you need a permit, when you need a permit, etc. This way you don't get hung up, because it can become quite expensive. Okay. I'm going to go, Ed?
Okay. So one thing I just want to relay on, the affordable housing law was supposed to be on the agenda today. It was pulled because we're still waiting for some changes on that. Ken, I know you're probably waiting for that. And just a reminder that this coming, no, it's not this Sunday, I'm sorry. Sunday, February 5th? Yeah, 5th. Is the celebration of the four chaplains at the American Legion Post at 2 p.m. The celebration of the four chaplains is a celebration of four chaplains on the Dorchester that was torpedoed in the North Atlantic in 1943, I believe. And these four chaplains not only kept calm and prayer throughout and made sure that the people who were able to get off the ship were saved, but they gave up their life jackets and ended up going down, as the story has it, they were last seen linked arm in arm in prayer. It's a very, very touching ceremony. And then right after that at the post, they have what's called Post Everlasting, which is a memorial to all of those who have passed this year that had served in our military and were members of the American Legion Post. So that's Sunday the 5th at 2 p.m. start, and right after that is the Post Everlasting. That's really it for me.
All right. And I'll tell you, if you haven't been to the Post Everlasting and the the
Four chaplains.
four chaplains, it is a very moving ceremony at the American
American Legion, Post 1009 on Veterans Road.
Very moving. To my left, Sergio.
Yes, so there's a lot of big events coming up. I think we just got a whole bunch of events for the year for the Yorktown Chamber of Commerce. So look out for those events. Other than that, I'm going to keep it short. We got started kind of late, and I apologize for that. So let's move on.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
It's 8:30. It's late.
Okay, I just want to remind everyone that summer position and seasonal employments is happening. So go on to our Parks and Rec. If you have any children that want to work for the camp, we have these great positions here. I think it's important to push that. And let's look out for our new Parks and Rec pamphlet. I know that the pool season has some changes coming up, so we're going to go ahead and make sure that we push them too. That's it.
That's it. Okay. Report from our highway superintendent, Dave Paganelli.
So the snow has been incredible. Oh my Lord. I can't sleep, but no, so far it's been a pretty good winter, I would say, and we're grateful for that, knock on wood. This isn't really wood, but and we're just at highway. We're doing our usual thing. We've been using our hot box every day to go down to the Bronx and pick up hot asphalt for potholes. And if you do have any potholes, feel free to call us at 962-5781 and make us aware of it. We have 400 lane miles of road, and we can't be everywhere at once. So thank you, and that's it.
Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have a proclamation in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Whereas Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream of equality and achieving social change through nonviolence has helped shape our nation, and whereas this week we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, we remember his legacy as an American hero and tireless social activist who called upon our nation to ensure equal justice under the law and to uphold our founding principles which recognize individuals' rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And whereas Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. encouraged Americans to come together regardless of age, race, or creed to alleviate poverty and value the dignity and respect inherent in all people through his example. He taught the values of courage, truth, justice, compassion, humility, and service to strengthen our communities. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Thomas P. Diana, Supervisor of the Town of Yorktown, along with the Town Board, recognize January 16th as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day and encourage all residents to act for the future betterment of our community. I have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. All right, I'd like to make a motion at this point in time to fill the seat vacated by myself. And I'd like to make a motion that that seat be filled by Mary Capocia at this point in time. And I have a motion.
So moved.
And I have a second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay. All right, the motion carries.
Opposed.
Okay, I have a resolution to appoint Mary Capocia to the position of Town Council member. Be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Yorktown appoints Mary Capocia to the position of Town Council member for the remainder of the 4-year to end December 31st, 2023, of the 4-year term left vacant by the resignation of elected Town Council member Thomas P. Diana, effective January 17th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we'd like to, no, do we want to swear Mary in at this point? Okay. Is Mary Capocci in the audience? No, she left.
Oh, hello.
I, Mary Capuccia,
I, Mary
Wait a minute, I gotta
Capoccia,
make.
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of
Yorktown Town Council member
Yorktown Town Council member
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Are you laughing back there? Thank you.
It's not official till you sign. Right.
Yes. So I just want to thank everybody, thank all of you. As many of you know, I'm not going to be running for the seat in November. I did raise my, I raised my family here, and I've been involved in this community on so many levels over the years. It's now my honor to serve the residents in this capacity, to continue to give back to this town that I love so much. I look forward to working with all of you on all levels over the next year and contributing as best as I can. Thank you, and God bless all of us.
Thank you. Thank you, Mary. All right, the only problem is, Mary, we don't have a seat for you because there'll be no place for...
She moved my bag.
Oh, she moved it already? Oh, you ruined my joke.
Sorry. She did it. Maura did it. Congratulations.
Do I get to sit up here?
Let's go.
Do I get to sit?
Okay. We have our poet laureate has requested that Sergio read his poem tonight.
Yes, he's got two short ones. This one's called Memory by John F. McMullen. It was back when the great horse Silver came galloping across the airwaves of WJZ 770 on the dial in New York City at 7:30 p.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, that an awful virus last so tore up my gastro-digestive system. Okay? And to make it worse, the same virus attacked my wife, Barbara. And yeah, they're very sick. In the same fashion.
Yeah.
It is over 40 years since we have both been so sick at the same time. Why do bad things happen? Why do bad happenings today make us remember bad histories? Perhaps it's to remind us that we've beaten them before. Next one is called Diet by John F. McMullen. Can a 6'2", 190-pound man survive on a diet of applesauce, lemon sorbet, oysterettes, and chicken noodle soup? I guess we'll find out. Diane, I'll email them to you so you have them, okay?
Thank you, Sergio. All right. We have a presentation tonight on the garbage pickup and collection. So Brian Amico, there he is. He's here. And ladies and gentlemen, just as a reminder, all of you should have gotten, can you zoom in on that, Tom? Should have gotten this pamphlet mailed to your house. Okay? If you have not, okay, it is available online. And you can always stop by our refuse and recycle department and pick one up. So this kind of gives you your pickup dates for bulk. It gives you your areas where you have to that you're located in, the holiday schedule for kitchen refuse and the dual stream recycling. So it's very informational little booklet. So if you don't have one, you didn't receive one, you can always call the refuse and recycling department at 914-245-4438. Stop by there and pick one up, or you can go online on the town website, and there's information about it on there. Brian, take it away.
As you guys know, I appreciate your time. Thank you. As you guys know, I did the garbage 10 years ago. I wrote all the maps, did all the routing. And when we took over, there was obviously some flaws. No one knew that the routes were changed 2 years ago. The town board wasn't aware. Phil gave me some information in the bid. They had to give you guys 90 days advance notice before they notified the residents of these proposed changes. So half the town was moved, the recycling was moved from one side to the other. Not that I'm not set up for it. I wasn't aware of it. Nobody told me about it. So putting that aside, because that screwed up a lot of things over the last couple of years for a lot of people, from what I was told prior to even taking the bid, spread out, it's all over the place, it's a mess. We need to correct it immediately. And I talked to some of the board members, and there's a bunch of different ways we can do it. And I think the faster we can do it, the easier to get back on track. We can go back to the way I was doing it 5 years ago. Same amount of equipment, same amount of men. Everything's easy. You're not all over Yorktown, driving all over the place, bouncing back and forth, trying to pick stuff up. I have the maps, and I can show you what I'm talking about. I spoke to Sergio about what he does on social media. Ed does some stuff on social media. I have the bid for the next 5 years. Hopefully I have it for the next 8 years. What I told Ed, I told Sergio is that Yorktown has 6 or 7 different zones. We don't abide by those zones. That has strictly to do with R&R and how they pick up your Christmas trees in bulk. What I told Sergio was I would overlay the route maps on the town map of the sites of the 6 locations, 7 locations of the zones, so that the residents can actually see what day they go, what route they're on, when they can see it, so that when and if I do get the bid back or I die, whoever takes it over can look at the map and say, hey, it's right here. You can go online and look at it. Anybody can look at it anytime they want. That way, nobody's ever confused in the future. The next company that may take it over has all the information, all the backdoor services of the people that complain that we missed them when we actually didn't even know that they existed because nobody provided the information. We have all that as it's coming in, slowly. But now that we've identified the exact problem, we're working on fixing it. We're just working a little bit later into the nights now. We got it all kind of corralled, if you will. Monday, Tuesdays are still going to be issues unless we get them corrected. And the faster we can do that, I think if we work with the town, between my office, the town, R&R, with the way you guys all do your PR on your social media platforms, if you will, the residents can be informed probably within the next 2 weeks.
Great.
The faster, the better. On top of that, I do have some pictures, only to provide to show some of the problems that we arise with the recycling. So I tried to email pictures that didn't work. I apologize, so I'll show everybody in the audience the pictures also. So this is what we deal with.
Hang on a second,
Picking
Tom.
up recycling.
Can you get this, Tom?
I'm going to get it, and I'll show everybody. Don't worry. I'll do it like preschool. I show everybody, because one time I got yelled at by a little kid because I didn't turn the book right. Sorry. So you guys can all see. Here's what you're supposed to have. 2 green bins. If I have to pick this up, and my guys have to bend over and sit there and pick that up, I don't understand why we have to do it when the town doesn't even have to do it for R&R, when they're picking up tree branches and other things. So that's one house. Okay? This is just today. There's another house. This is regular. You can drive around and see it yourself all over Yorktown every day. This is just recyclables. Now, if I have to pick up your recyclables off the floor, you know, that's not what we do. We're garbage. We pick up cans and pails, we throw them out like civilized people. But if I have to come sweep up your neighborhood, then we're going to do that. But there's going to back charge you. because this is not part of the contract. Now, I don't mind if you put your stuff out, but please, be tidy about it. It's all over the street. These are 64-gallon pails. They're filled with bottles. You know how much that weighs? Does anybody have an idea?
No idea.
Over 50 pounds, 60 pounds, which is over the limit, but it's bottles, so it's probably closer to 70 pounds, plus the weight of the pail. 2 green bins. Let me show everybody else. Okay? This is regular. Regular. This is what we pick up regularly. Okay? Four green bins. Okay? Now look at the size of trash cans behind it. Those are the wrong size trash cans. But I'm not here to talk about trash today. I'm only here to talk about the recycling. Because right now, that's the issue at hand. Everybody wants to see the pictures? Let's show them again. Sorry. Let me get all the way around that line. Now here's one. Seems to be the head of all the social media stuff online. About it. That trash can is the wrong size. 2 33-gallon pails is what we're supposed to pick up. Not 164, not 196, not 296, not 264s. That's the wrong size. I'm not here to get into that today. We're not having a discussion. We're here to talk about recycling. Wrong size pail.
But at least the recycling was good, Brian.
Thank you.
So,
I'm
Brian,
just trying to make a point with that so you guys have an understanding, and the people have an understanding, that my guys have to bend over for 5 minutes instead of 10 seconds to pick up the pail, dump in the thing, and go. I understand there's some other issues. We'll get to those as well. But these are some major issues that these are hampering the operation as we go because the way that the routes were just overtly taken from this and put here and this and put there because it looked good on color. I don't know why they did what they did. It makes absolutely no sense. The map maker downstairs, the guy who passed away a couple years ago, great guy. He should be honored in this town. That guy knows every lot, did know every lot plot in this town. I sat with him for hours going every line, house, road, how many miles, how many houses in each section. Because I got to know the weight. I got to know how many houses. I got to know the routes, how many miles they go. So everybody does about the same amount of work. And everybody gets the same amount of weight. That way, everybody gets done about the same time. Question.
so what happens, like, what other problems, other than the time at the actual house, residence, does that overabundance of recycling cause?
Because it's because now I'm picking up 5 times the volume at, let's just say, 25% of the houses. Put that aside. Now I got to go dump and come back and dump again. So I'm double dumping twice. So instead of going to roller hook once, I'm going twice and coming back, and I have to still load again today, for example. So you're dumping, coming back, dumping, coming back. I mean, it's like it's redundancy. We never did that before.
Normally, how many dumps would you have in a day?
On a holiday, 2.
So number one, I appreciate what you're saying. I'm assuming that you've done this before and you know this town. You lived here how long? So you saw how much trash we have. I'm not into shaming my constituents about how they pack their stuff. We want to tell people to be a little bit more organized with their recycling. Great. We want to inform them maybe that there are certain size pails versus other ones. Because to be honest with you, I also don't know what size my pail is. I will go look when I get home. I'm all about working together. I just felt like, to me, personally, when you took the contract, you knew what you were getting into. You know this town. You know the town. I get the maps weren't right. I appreciate what you just said. I appreciate how you reorganized it. I love how transparent you were, whether it's yours in 8 more years or you had to pass it down. I thought that was beautiful. I love that you noted all the backstreet ones, because you're right. If someone doesn't tell you, how are you going to know that you got to go up their driveway? But I just want to say, maybe something we should just address is that we do need to be a little bit. First of all, we have the compost and all these other things that we can save on this. I'm not. You pick up garbage. I treat patients. I'm not telling you how to do your job, but I'm also going to say you have to pick up the garbage. So if the problem here is how they're packing it, then I'm happy to address that with our town.
We need to address that.
And that's great. I'm not into shaming the town about it.
There's a problem.
Because
this is a problem.
But when you drove around, didn't you see it was a problem?
I did, and I've been seeing it for the last 2 weeks. That's why I'm addressing the board.
Right, but I would have addressed this even earlier. If this, I mean, I doubt somebody.
I was here last week. How much farther did you guys weren't here the week before?
I know. I
Half the
understand.
town was missed the week of Christmas. All the dumpsters were removed from all the condominiums in Yorktown.
Great,
Did you know
and we had a huge courtesy on that, and we told everyone to relax because you had to play catch up, and I'm totally fine with that.
But I'm the target. You can put the target on my back for that. I put dumpsters in every location, in every container that was removed
I
in
did
Yorktown.
not. We did not put a target on your
Now, you're
back.
telling me about shaming your
I did.
constituents.
I'm just letting you know.
The pail, first off, ignorance of the law is no defense. Secondly, two 33-gallon pails is what you're allowed to put out.
Great.
Fantastic.
Then we could say that. Fine.
You want to say that tonight?
I'm not against that. I just said that to you.
Brian, how big is a 33-gallon pail? Because I'm not sure that I know.
It's about this.
Go to home. We'll go to. That's
I
good.
have them. If you want me to go get them, I'll bring them back in a half an hour.
Yeah, no.
No, thank
But
you.
I'm gonna need like 14. I have 3 kids, a dog, neighbors.
Look at the
I
contract.
throw parties.
Look at the contract. Then
I
rent
get
the
it.
Dumpster. I'm not here to argue the fact. I'm here to just point out.
My whole
what's
neighborhood
going
does a
on.
really good job leaving it out, but there's stuff out. And they all pack it down. My husband complains every Sunday, breaking down every single box.
I'm not here to point. I'm not.
I'm not
pointing
saying
fingers at
that,
you.
but I'm saying-
pointing out what's going on in the town. If you want to drive around and look, be out. It's obvious. It means everywhere.
But when you took the bid, you drove around town and you saw the town. I'm pretty sure no one changed how they live in a matter of 30 days.
I'm not here. If you would like me to address that, I will. And I don't think you want me to address that right now.
Okay, well, Supervisor, I look to you on this one.
Brian, what were some of the issues that you ran into, other than that, and we know about the dumpsters that you had to put back in the.
Well, I don't feel like I'm getting threatened again. So here, listen, look.
All right.
See this? I get threatened on a route. I had to pull all my guys in one day because they got threatened on the route. We had to call the police department. Yorktown came, county came. When my guys get threatened, they get put in an unsafe work environment, they come off the route. Okay? That's something maybe you don't know about. And it's ongoing.
But
Brian,
you're here
Brian-
to address your recyclables.
Brian,
wanna
just
keep
be,
telling me?
Brian, just be respectful, please.
I'm being
No,
respectful.
it's fine. I'm
Okay.
totally fine with it. I'm not talking about
not
what
letting
goes
anybody
on.
call
I am
me
talking to you
threatened.
about the recyclables.
No, you're talking about garbage.
I'm
You wanna
talking
talk
about-
recycling. This is it right here.
Right, exactly. And I'm telling you,
2 green pails.
right. So what I'm asking you is, what if a house has more than 2 green pails? Are you not picking up more than 2 green pails?
If you want to play that game, we can do that.
No,
he's picking it up.
He's picking
Right.
it up.
That's what I'm saying. So then they're going to need to get 4 or 5 green pails.
Here's the problem. And again, I'm going to be redundant in the fact that you're not understanding what I'm saying. A 64-gallon pail with bottles is too heavy for my guys to lift. Okay?
Okay.
Who's going to do that? It's out there. This is everywhere. This is not just one house. We have code enforcement in Yorktown. He doesn't go and do this, but in other towns they do it. Going to Chappaqua, they pay stupid money for their garbage. They bundle it and package it like a present. Why can't people in Yorktown, they put their sticks out for the town to do it, but this is acceptable behavior to put their garbage out? We come to your house 3 times a week. R&R comes to your house 5, 6 times a year. I'm not arguing. I'm just making a point. What I'm doing and what my guys do is break their hump every day. Hard. It's hard labor. They work 12, 14 hours a day. They run 26, 30 miles a day. They pick up 20, 22 tons a day. So run a marathon, pick up 20 tons, and be home by 10 o'clock. It's not easy work. But when they have to do this kind of extra work, it's over and above what the contract calls for. This is not what I saw 10 years ago. This is not what I saw 4 months ago. This is what I see now. This is why I'm bringing it to your attention today.
Okay. How can we make this better?
I would like to take the routes and put them back on the way that I said. Monday and Tuesday, I have to show you the routes. We have to put them online. I told Sergio how we do it. We overlay onto the section map. The residents can see every day their recycling goes and what days their garbage goes. It goes back. Jefferson Village will go back to Mondays instead of Fridays. Why they made that decision, baffling. And then they took all of this one side of town on Tuesdays and put it on Mondays, which is the northern part of Gomer Street. The geographic location is too huge to pick up that kind of coverage. Too large, too geographically large. Unless I want to buy 4 more trucks. It's not worth it. You just change the days, put the routes back the way that they were. everything is sequential.
Who changed the routes?
AAA did.
AAA did.
So then, right, they did it for them to be convenient. You should do it so that you could be effective.
But I didn't do it. I'm doing it the right way. I'm notifying you. They never notified the town board.
I appreciate that.
Excuse me. Hey, Phil, are you in the audience?
in
Yeah.
the audience.
Good. Come on up here for a second.
90 days written notice. He just sent it to me. I'll be
Oh,
more
he
than
got it
happy
for you.
to send
Okay,
it.
that's what I want to. I want to hear from Phil. You just take one side step. This way, Phil can use the mic. Phil, what is the procedure that Brian has to do?
Well, I forwarded that to Brian, the portion of the contract. It's at least 90 days. He, use email, social media. But I talked to Brian about this a couple of 2 weeks ago when he was discussing this with me. I only found out by doing some research, as you're well aware of, Tom, because this is prior to me, that we found out there was never a resolution for them to change these routes.
No.
And the only one good thing they did was, which I think we, in my office, would assist, with making up the flyers, is putting the flyers in everybody's mailbox if we do switch, so they notify. In other words, is okay, your recycling now is going to be, instead of Monday, it's going to be Wednesday or Tuesday or whatever. But I discussed that already with Brian. To me, is whatever way is the more efficient way of doing things and getting us back on schedule. That's the most important thing to all of us.
So it's 90 days written notice to.
Well,
To us.
we send out emails. We as the town also can, we put out emails. We
Put it on a
out
website.
notices. I think the biggest key would be the flyers in the mailbox.
Okay. Just remember, though.
That makes sense.
Just remember.
Don't have to legally do that.
Don't put the flyers in the mailbox.
What
But
Sergio does, what we
yeah,
talked about,
yep.
I think that could get addressed pretty quickly.
And Phil, we as the board can waive the 90 days because that's from us if we want to get this moving right away.
Listen, I'm just saying, whatever resolution you pass on that, that's
Way we could get it.
that's all.
Yeah.
But first, I think what we have to do is I have to have
The route.
the streets that I'm changing. I understand maps and this. I got to deal with streets
Right.
because that's how I have to deal. I have to put things on a website. I need streets. I need, Chen Court is now going to be changed from this. Don't change Chen Court. That's where I live.
So you guys need to get together and communicate.
I
this.
get a list of which streets that want to be changed. Once I have that, I can come back and say, listen, I have everything. What time frame you want to give, and then we can work it out with that. I don't have a problem with that if he sees that it's more efficient for him, and he's out there. You know what I mean? That's okay with me.
Right now, so I think between what he can
You need to step closer to the mic.
Yeah, get onto the mic
Sorry,
there,
I
Brian.
just think me and Phil started working pretty good together last week, so I think between what he can do, what I can do, what Sergio and I can do.
Leave it to Sergio. My daughter does all my social media.
Okay.
So listen. Yeah, go ahead.
My suggestion also, my office now, those two battered women in my office.
No hazardous
What they do now is when somebody says their recycling was missed, we give them the quote from the contract about the size, this and that. Also, too, is if you would like, we can do a presentation. You know what I mean? We can bring some pails, whatever you need, I could do. Exactly what goes in recycling, what doesn't.
We used to have those with Kim. We used to do that.
Before my time.
I'm not, listen, I'm not trying, I'm just making a point. I asked Phil, we talked, we drove around. I'm not here to break people's chops about what they're putting out. I just have a little courtesy, that's all. And not so much the courtesy of calling me to say, just please clean up your mess a little bit. We'll get there. And we just need the route switched. That's all. I'm
So-
not looking to point fingers. Otherwise, I would have done it with addresses and names and everything. I don't do that. I would if I have to, but I don't.
So a couple of things. First of all,
I just want to
Go
make
ahead.
it perfectly clear that he has never left anything. Okay, any call that he got from my office and from the board, I guess you guys would know, whatever was there, he's been taking everything. I have to give credit where credit's due. You know what I mean? I called the way it is. That's the way it is.
And Phil, not to put you on the spot, how responsive has Brian been to?
My office, a matter of fact, is he physically comes in. We talk. He never. If I call them, or he mainly deals with the two women because sanitation's not my only job. I'm usually running all over the place. But he usually deals with the two women, no problem with anything. Zero problem, because what happens is sometimes I know we get a lot of calls about the phones being busy and going to voicemail. My office and his office. But I tell you one thing, every time we said that, one time we did it in your office, we called his office and the woman answered,
Yeah.
What happens is that if the people are on the phone, it goes to voicemail. And for the last 2 weeks, believe me, I know he had to be having the same thing I've been having. The phones didn't stop.
We had it.
Okay? And we're just trying to calm everybody down and just leave it. All we tell you is if your recycling or trash was not picked up, leave it out. Brian's company's been working. I can't say they haven't. They've been working Saturday. Any day they had to do it, they've been doing what they had to do. And I've been in the street on the weekends. You've been in the street in the weekends with me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right.
sorry.
No, that's okay.
That was our date night with Carol and I. We were following one of Brian's
Yeah,
trucks.
this is what this town board does. We have date nights, and we go help Brian. We follow his trucks to make sure he's out at the right streets.
Thanks.
All right, so a couple of things. I think Councilwoman Howitt has made some significant good points. And what I'd like to know is, so you're committed, and according to Phil, it sounds like you are, and I know you are. I just want you to tell everybody out there, you're committed to picking up the stuff that they're putting out.
100%, sir.
Okay.
I lived in this town my whole life.
I got you.
I know most of these people. And some of these people's pictures of my friends. I did it on purpose. I hope they're watching.
Secondly, the conversation between you and Councilwoman Howard got a little heated.
I apologize.
And it was
Yeah.
borderline
Thank you,
disrespectful. And we work hard up here, and it's not easy for us to be up here either. And so, we ask the respect that I think we all deserve up here, and the courtesy that we give everybody else out there. So, and I appreciate that you apologize.
I apologize to Councilwoman. I meant no disrespect.
I can
Sometimes
handle
I
it.
get a little heated when I
I'm
speak.
totally comfortable with it.
So,
you can bring all of it.
So I just want to make that clear, and I apologize.
Thank you. Next thing. So what do you need from us? When can you have the overlay maps that you're talking about? And then, and approximately, when do you think we would be on this new schedule?
I'd like to start at February 1st.
You'd like to start the new routes by February 1st?
As fast as possible.
As fast as possible, because it's more efficient according to you. And Councilwoman Howard made a great point. She said, the last carting company did what they did that they felt was the most convenient for them. Whether it was right or wrong, we're not here to judge that. I don't really care. It's in the past.
Correct.
We need you to do what you need to do to make yourself more efficient and get to the places on time. That's all. So I think I'm on board with that. When can you get us the new overlays or whatever?
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's right. Go
I
ahead.
just have to sit with Dan and he has those.
Bigger maps.
Well, I have the maps. The ones that I need to overlay. He has the sectional maps. I don't have.
Dan Ciarcia here?
Yeah, we don't use those. So.
Dan, can you come up here, please?
Well, all right.
No, come on up, man.
That's his job. He works at a town.
Yeah.
map.
No, I know.
Sorry.
Dan's got Scott. I'm not going to say it on. Anyway, so he needs your help. So
we gave Brian the base maps, but it's fairly simple for us to break it up into whatever sectors you want to do, and then that'll help you know what streets are involved.
So let me just say this, right?
The magic of GIS.
Right. So, and you need the streets.
Right. You're right.
So we want to go. If we want to go live February 1st, we can't make the announcement on January 29th, right? So when do you think this will get done? So we could, we need some time frame to get the word out there, because not everybody's on social media, not everybody reads email, and so it's a challenging thing. No, I'm asking you, when do you guys think you're going to be ready? With the maps, the streets, and all of this stuff. That's the question.
I mean, the maps are easy to do. I don't know, listing all the streets, and even streets, it isn't like a whole street. You got streets that may end up in one zone, and we have long streets.
No,
so I don't know if that, but I can't answer. Let's put it this way: we can do the map pretty quickly. As far as doing the list of streets,
The overlay is going to be a little bit more
Right.
because it took me months to do those.
Okay.
I'm gonna have them. I just have to retrace them. It's not like a little kid can do it, but you know, I can hire a couple 14-year-olds to do it. Shouldn't take more.
Give
than
us,
that to do.
give us what you had from last time.
Yeah.
Still looking for an answer to my question, though. You know, so
I don't know. I don't know how long it could take. A week. It could take 2 weeks.
All right.
It
So,
could take longer than 2 weeks.
If you can get this done by the end of January, hand me.
hold on, guys. Everybody, hold on.
If you can hand me the streets of the different days we're switching. Once I have that in hand, I can come to the board. Then you can tell me about it. I'll give with ideas from him of getting it out. I'll have some ideas of getting it out to everybody, and then you guys can make a decision on how long we want to give the public for the change.
I think you're probably going to need minimum of 30 days to get this squared away. You know, by the time after you have the maps, I think, Brian, you're probably going to have to.
It's going to take about 2 weeks to do the maps. There's no
Yeah.
rush.
So you're going to need a minimum of 30 days. It's been announced to the public now that we want to do this.
it's coming, right?
And it's coming. And then we're going to have to do the door drops, and you're going to have to do social media, which I get Sergio, you're going to help them with.
Sure.
And move it along that way. But I would say mid-February might be a more realistic date, if that works with you.
February 15th. We'll get that. We'll get there.
All right.
So these routes crunched right now. So I mean, the time's coming down every day. The problem is just geographically, it's too big.
Yeah.
So can we say, when's our next town board meeting? When's not the next one, the one after that?
You're actually putting them back.
Ashbeth, hold on one second.
Correct.
Diana, can you tell me when
You
the...
have those maps. You have
The
that
next
information.
meeting will be February 7th, 14th, and 21.
February 7th. So you want to say he's got to have maps for us by February 7th? Or you want to say February 1st and we'll have like a... Then we could... What do you want to do?
What do we got? February what?
7th, 14th, 21.
There's no meeting on the 31st.
Okay, so we got 2 weeks
we
now
have-
till you can have the maps done, right?
We'll
Approximately.
have them before the end of January, for sure.
Okay. And then we want to go for the 7th. As
Dan, you're
a-
good with the before the... I want everybody on the same page. I don't want to, I don't want you guys to come back and then we don't have the maps and... I don't want to hear
on
it.
this right away. 'Cause I'm
Okay.
calling these guys
Yeah,
right now.
I just realized too, when I was talking, the maps should be pretty quick to make, particularly if Brian gives me the stuff. But the other thing is, we're reverting back to a list of streets that we previously used. So if we can just find the old list, the list is done.
Okay.
It's
I don't
if
have
we
that
can find a
information. I have
copy
to
of the
come out
old one.
R&R.
I'm going to see tomorrow. I'll have
Step over to Mike there, Phil.
the one who's been there in my office the longest is Kristen, and she wasn't here for all the changes. I think she was here just for the last one, and she's really efficient. So if it came across her desk, she would have it. Whatever I have, I share with Brian. So
Yeah.
it's not a problem.
And we, I had talked to Kristen and to Nicole with regard to, what had happened the last time. This board was not notified of anything that was switched to my recollection, and I believe, Ed, you didn't remember anything either. So they went ahead and did whatever they did, whether they did mailbox drops or they did emails or however they did it. We had no idea.
That's what caused the problem for me when we took over. We got half the town on one side we're expecting to pick up. Well, now we're looking for the recyclables are not there. I'm literally driving around going, where's this other route? I don't want to have to get into the employees that we hired that we had to let go, but there was a whole bunch of reasons for that too. But
You had
put
some
that
serious
aside.
bumps.
Yeah, let's worry about how
I
do we
just want
fix
to get
it.
this settled so that
So up until
My guys.
we get the new routes and up until we get everything else, are you on schedule? Are you getting close to being on schedule with everything?
There's no problem with the garbage other than some offshoot streets here and there.
Right.
Misses here and
Yeah,
there.
we've been on the phone about them. Yep.
Recycling, other than Thursday, Friday, which we caught up, it's just, we're 7, 8 o'clock. It's still too late. Mm-hmm. Monday, Tuesday, literally, if I geographically showed you the map, you'd be like, it's crazy. It's just, doesn't make sense.
All right, but moving forward from this point until we get changed, what's going on with
Yeah,
it?
because then down the road, I have a lot of changes I'd like to make. And
Okay.
I originally had the plan to move one side of town to another side of town and make the push, make it a lot simpler. The whole idea, Sergio, is to keep less men, less trucks on the road, less pollution for the environment, less buses, less trucks around for
Sure.
school kids, for the buses, stuff like that. I took 12 trucks to 7. I'm trying to take another truck off the road. Saves me more money and helps the environment. And the kids around going for the bus stop every day. That's all. If I
All
can
right,
help
so
you
we
out,
got 2 weeks till
a lot of work to do.
right. We got 2 weeks. 2 weeks for the new maps, and then another 2 weeks to notify those particular people, and then you start the new route. Correct? Is that what we're saying?
Let's get when I have the names of each street.
Yep.
I then will notify you We'll come to the board, and then we'll take it. You know, then we can say we're going to get 3 weeks, 2 weeks. How we getting it out? But first, we can't do anything unless I have the streets, because everything in my office is run by streets. I can't put a map on everything. When you look up your street, everything in my office is looking up your street. You look up your street, you know when you're going to pick up Christmas trees.
That's
you're gonna pick
that's
up
the
bulb.
problem between, because we talked about this. The garbage and R&R have never been on the same page, ever. We use 2 zones for garbage, we use 4 zones for recycling, and they don't equate to anything the town
No,
does with their zones.
They do 7 zones.
So what the town does is nothing to do. That's why I wanted to overlay our map on the town's map, so that way they can see what zone they're in. Because when they call, a lot of times I'll get a phone call from somebody. I'll give you an example. I live in Section 6. I think that's called Gomer Street right now. I'm not sure. I don't even know what zone I grew up in, to be quite honest. I lived by Junior Lake my whole life. I don't know what zone that was.
Yeah.
I never knew. I would just call. We never called for anything, but, you know, it is what it is. So if I overlay the maps on the zone maps, it'll help the residents better understand their timing. I think you asked me about that last time, when they could come. It's not going to give them like a exact time, but it gives them a better idea of what their timing should be. Again, not to try to beat the garbage truck out with the can, but you'll know when we're coming, around what times we're coming, because you'll be able to see the flow. And I'll put arrows and show the direction. Not only that, because it shows my guys when I give them the map, this is the way I want you to do the flow. Because if you go this way, it takes you 4 hours. If you go this way, it takes you 2 hours. We're garbage men. We're not brain surgeons. I said this 10 years ago. We're not rocket scientists. That's why we do garbage. That's the only reason why we do it. We're not that bright, but we're not that dumb. All we do is go out, pick up your garbage, put it in the back of the truck, go to the dump. I just got to get the maps figured out again. What somebody else, like I told you guys all, they took a glass, they dropped it on a concrete floor, shot it into a million pieces. You can't fix that with bubble gum, duct tape, or crazy glue. So, got to get a new one. Got to fix it. Do it all over.
So I got one more question for you. So a lot of things that does any am I good?
No.
A lot of things that have come up is the commingling of recyclables and garbage. Now I've witnessed one of your trucks, because I know that the little truck by where I live, the little truck went down the little streets, came back out with everything. And then there was a guy in one truck and a guy in the bed of the little truck, and they were separating it out and throwing the garbage in the garbage truck that was standing there on the side receiving the garbage, but the recyclables was going in. I understand that you're doing that. I don't know if that's happening everywhere, but it is a problem.
We mixed the first week, and we did that, and I told everybody why. You had half the garbage from the week before December and half the garbage in the week in January.
Right, that's a whole other issue. Right.
It didn't happen. Other than that, I mean, we have a chase truck that goes out. They'll pick up garbage. They're supposed to put cardboard between the two. Recyclables on the other side. So they go up those little streets by you.
Correct. Yeah.
Bovary, Davenport, I think is the other street down there.
Yeah.
So there's like one house at the bottom, 4 houses up top.
No,
there.
I get it.
Big truck can't get in there. So they run up in there and they grab it with the chase truck and they separate it. When they meet the truck, garbage is supposed to go in the garbage truck. Recycle is supposed to go in the recycle truck.
Okay.
So now we have bins like this on that chase truck just for they keep their own recyclables on there.
Okay.
So we just take your bin, pour it in ours, and we go.
So you are
that doesn't
not
sound
efficient. But you are separating it out and kind of keeping track as best you can.
He's seen them.
Okay.
That was
seen it?
actually behind it.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's move forward from this point, and let's get the maps to us.
Yeah, I have them in 2 weeks.
And then we'll go from there. And then shortly thereafter, we'll get...
If I can have them before 2 weeks, I'll have them before 2 weeks. But you have them in 2 weeks.
All right.
I think
Then
we're committed. If we had to call a special meeting, we'll call a special meeting if we have to move this ahead. Because
we can do that.
the faster, the better. So, but
I agree.
it's all on you and Dan now. So we need to get that and Phil. So we need to get that back, right?
Sorry. We'll get it done. I'll get it done.
Okay.
My word on that. You get it done.
Then just remember, when you come up here, we're not your enemies. We're
No, I
here.
apologize.
I
There
know.
was a lot of stuff
I
that
know.
went on, and I don't think most people understand. But hopefully they'll fill you in. If you don't, and I'll be more than
Oh,
happy
no, I
to.
get it.
I'll be more than happy.
This is my first rodeo.
Fair enough. I apologize again. Thank you guys
Okay.
Yep.
for taking my time, and
I'm
sorry
good.
for taking up so much of the town's time.
Once again, we've Ed and I have been through, I think, 3 of these, and there are the bumps in the roads that you generally have through every new garbage carrier. That being said, these bumps have smoothed out quite nicely. Jenna, how many calls have we gotten in the past couple days? Well, you knock on the wood over there, but
They're going down.
They're going down. They're going down. Is it?
What do you say?
Make sure you put those potholes in. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Have a good night, Brian. Okay. Before we open up courtesy of the floor, as a reminder, you can always contact us. You don't have to wait for courtesy of the floor. You can always call Town Hall, our town officials, our town departments. We are here to work for you. You can visit the town's website at www.yorktown.org. You can find all the contact information for everybody here on the dais, town clerk, even town attorney, and of course, your elected officials. As a reminder, there is a 3-minute limit on your comments for courtesy of the floor. We ask you to keep them directed to the town board, and we ask, as always, that your comments remain focused and respectful. Motion to open courtesy of the floor.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Susan.
Good evening, Susan Siegel. At the last meeting, I asked a question about the towing contract.
We're on it.
Well, then am I going to get an answer tonight?
No.
No. But it's coming.
But it's coming.
Let her ask a question.
Go ahead, Ansel. I'm
All
sorry.
right. Because in doing my research, when you responded to my question last week, nobody seemed to know anything about the contract. But this board, your board, voted to extend the contract last year, and two members of this board have voted consistently since 2016 on the contract. So to say I didn't know anything raises some questions. Also, the current contract.
Okay, hold on a minute. Hold on, Susan. I'm going to stop you there. Okay, we said to keep your comments direct and remain focused and respectful. I don't like the finger pointing. Okay, I'm going to tell you up front and forward, I'm not going to tolerate it. Okay, I respect you when you get up and speak, but you always want to try to make something nefarious out of whatever this board does, and I will not accept that. Do I make myself very clear?
You've made yourself clear.
Thank you.
All right. The contract did expire, so I assume that there will be a resolution soon. And the question I have, and it's for the board and maybe for the town attorney, if you find that indeed the contract, the increases have not been applied, can the increases, when you do the extension for 2023, can you recoup that $49,000 retroactively? I'm just asking. I have no idea what it is. I want to thank you for your comments about the tree law. And it's a lengthy law, but it's very simple in terms of what homeowners, when they need permits. And I think it would be very, very helpful if you had the tree commission do a presentation and explain very simply when homeowners need a permit and when they don't. And if there's any question, then obviously they can call the engineering department. Mm-hmm. But to make it clear, when the tree law was passed in 2010, we did have a presentation. We had a brochure that was done and was distributed to the residents. And I think it's important so we don't have the problem that you're aware of that occurred, about 3 weeks ago, the horrendous, removal that did occur. So please get in touch with the Tree Commission, and I think they would be more than happy to have a presentation explaining this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for courtesy of the floor?
Dan Strauss.
Mr. Strauss, where have you been?
Hello there.
Where have I been?
Yeah, we've missed you.
You haven't figured it out? Maybe it's about respect.
Generally
It's interesting that respect comes up again tonight. You expect respect from the people in Yorktown, but do you give us respect? The definition of a naysayer. Mr. Lachterman, you might look at me instead of at the computer because I'm going to address this to you.
I do like to make notes, but okay, I'll focus specifically on you.
Focus. A naysayer is a person who criticizes, objects to, or opposes something. About 3 months ago, off social media, with the hotel, You said that there were naysayers, and you finished your remarks that they could leave. Go back, it's on the record.
And this is
You
on social
said
media?
you got off social media that people were objecting to the hotel that is being proposed in town, and you said in front of all of you that if you don't like it, you can leave. That is not respectful, and it's on the record.
I will look
And
for
I don't have a thick skin, but politics, it's all about politics, what you do. All about it. You said about 3 months ago that you are not politicians. You said, we are not politicians. It's on the record. You are politicians. That's why you're sitting up there. That's why the town board is where it is, and the reason I haven't come to the meetings was because I would not sit in the same room with a person who gave no respect. And I'm still going to say this. You went after the town clerk in the December meeting that I have never seen in my lifetime for 1/2 hour. 1/2 hour against Miss Quast, who is a decent person, and it's nothing to do with politics. Thank you very much.
We have anybody else for courtesy of the floor? Yes, ma'am.
I'll just start with a question. How many of you do yoga out here or are aware of yoga?
Can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Kirti Agarwal. I'm a resident of Yorktown Heights for almost more than 10 years, I would say. Yeah. So just a quick question. How many of you have practiced yoga or interested in yoga at any point of your life? Oh, awesome, Luciana.
I'd like to say I did. Can I kind of half raise my hand?
Don't lie.
So yoga is basically, as you might know, a couple of postures, style of breathing, as well as working asanas or the postures to not just strengthen your physical body, but as well as the mind, because we do breathing along with these postures. So this Saturday, 9 a.m., we are conducting a 2-hour session for the yoga in the fire district of Yorktown Heights, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And we will be primarily focusing on sun salutations, which is Surya Namaskar, which is a combination of 10 poses or the 10 postures of yoga, with the fulfillment of strengthening your body as well as mind as well. So both mind and yoga. So this initiative we are primarily taking to for the awareness of yoga for the people of Yorktown, and not just Yorktown, throughout. So the humble request is if you can be a part of it and if you can help spread the word across. That's
So where is it?
The fire district of Yorktown.
Fire district, and what time?
9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Saturday 21st. I have a small small flyer that we put in outside, and if you can help put in the Facebook page of the town hall or anywhere else, that would be helpful.
And what is the name of your...
HSS.
You have a business?
No, it's not a business. It's a non-profit organization.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so this is a free event. We just wanted to make people aware and help them. After COVID, a lot of people are going through a lot of mental health issues and physical health issues. This is just for the benefit. And it's a free event. We teach people who don't know it. And the reason why we're doing it at this point of time, because as we get into the new year, the sun and the days are getting bigger. We get more and more of the sun rays. So at this point, it's the best time to do the sun salutations or the Surya Namaskars.
Will this help me after the polar plunge? That's what I want to know. I'm jumping into the ice cold water.
It might, Tommy.
It might help.
Vitamin D helps.
This helps you with everything,
Okay.
That's all I can say. So just a humble request if you can, help us.
Can you bring the flyer up, please?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What we'll do is I'll get it to Robin. Thank you. We'll get one for Robin.
Just publish them on the town hall Facebook page. That will be more than that will be really awesome.
There you go, Mr. Ed.
Thank you.
Diana. Could you? Oh, you got one. Did we give that to Robin?
You have to speak into the microphone. That's okay.
So I'll hold this up while you speak.
Yeah, Yeah, these are the various postures of yoga that we do during the sun salutations. So we'll be these are more like plank poses, the cobra poses, the various poses, and each one of them has their own benefits. So we'll educate on the benefits, and we'll do it all together for 2 hours, as much as your body can take. Yeah.
Does our supervisor have to wear the same tights at this?
Stop it.
Oh, no.
Stop it.
Never mind.
You don't want to see this in a speed. You don't want to see this in a Speedo.
So looking forward to seeing some of you there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, anybody? Oh, of course, Sarah. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Good
Good.
evening, Sarah Wilson, Yorktown resident. I'd like to thank Supervisor Diana and the town board for the proclamation recognizing yesterday, January 16th, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day here in Yorktown. I was pleased to attend and participate in the Beyond the Dream event organized by Yorktown for Justice yesterday, along with many of our residents and visitors from neighboring communities. Members of our local clergy provided music, and we participated in lively and thought-provoking discussions about 4 of Reverend Dr. King's lesser-known speeches and sermons. I certainly hope that this will become an annual event here in Yorktown, as we encourage all residents to learn more about, as your proclamation said, this American hero and tireless social activist. I'll just quickly remind folks about Yorktown 100 series of talks at the Hart Library, the next one being this Thursday at 6:30. The topic is how to save money to heat, cool, and power your home while reducing your carbon footprint. Bring your questions. Next up, February 16th, is how to cut your garbage in half. A timely topic, something I'm sure even Mr. Amico is in favor of. And lastly, the Super Cereal Bowl of Caring here in Yorktown is in full mode. Forgot my box of cereal. Between the Hart Library and Grace Lutheran Church, as of today, we are 1/3 of the way towards our goal of collecting 600 boxes of cereal. While 600 boxes of cereal seems like a lot, in reality, it will only supply the needs of our residents served by the pantry for about 3 weeks. Please encourage your friends and neighbors to contribute towards the goal. We have almost 4 weeks to go until Super Bowl Sunday, so there's plenty of time to search out the sales at the grocery store and drop off your generous donations either at Grace, the white box outside the front door, or at the John C. Hart Library. Thank you very much.
Sarah, when does that program end again?
Super Bowl Sunday.
Okay.
It's the Super Cereal Bowl.
Super Cereal Bowl. Very good. Very good. Okay, do we have anybody? There we go. Hello, Kev.
Evening.
Evening.
Kevin Burns, Yorktown resident for about 21 years. I just want to congratulate Mary Capoccia on your appointment. I've known Mary for a number of years, and I just want to say to the board, I think you made a wise decision. That's all I had.
Thank you, Kev.
Thank you, Kevin.
Anybody else for courtesy of the floor?
Motion to close courtesy of the floor.
Motion. Second, I'm sorry. You made the motion?
He made
Yes,
the
I
motion.
did.
You second.
Well, you're supposed to say, do I have a motion? Somebody goes, motion.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
There we go. All in favor?
See the floor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. On to a public hearing.
I would like to address.
Oh,
a
I'm
couple
sorry.
things.
I'm sorry.
That's
I
okay.
forgot. Anybody want to address
Yeah.
some of the questions?
Yeah, I got a comment too.
You know, not to argue with Mr. Strauss. I'll take a look on social media, but I personally haven't been on my social media accounts in a year. I don't post anything on social media because it's usually used to attack. I don't look at the things that are posted about me. My daughter does everything for me for my businesses. I don't even do that anymore. I will say that as you talk about respect, I have always listened to opposite opinions of mine. I may not agree. I may not be convinced. I may be convinced. But if anyone agrees with me 100% of the time, book some time with Luciana because you need some mental health. That's all I can say. And that's coming directly from the horse. As for the meeting, I think you might be referring to where we were speaking about posting the minutes online. We needed to find a solution for our residents. Ms. Kloss was very helpful. I think it was taken care of the next day. Everything was where it needed to be. But a discussion is discussion. That's what the town board is about, having those. I don't think Diana took any ill will towards me. We we converse all the time about different things. That just had come up, and I wanted to make sure that from a point of view, the residents knew it was something that we were working on and getting taken care of, and it's been taken care of. For the young lady with the yoga, I could imagine some beautiful spring and summer yoga classes at Lake Mohegan, and the gentleman sitting behind you over there who took a flyer, Ken Belfour, can probably be the person to speak to, because the lake would be a perfect tranquil place for yoga.
Oh, yeah.
So, Sarah, I did make a notation to the manager at ShopRite in Cortland Town Center said he would help us with a cereal bowl. I'll do a follow-up on him tomorrow and see what we could do. I know Carol bought some that I forgot to bring down, so if I'd known you were here, I would have brought them for you. But we will get that taken care of. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so Susan, we are, things take time, and you're not being ignored. And we are looking into it. I remember there was a couple of things that happened several years ago, but I wasn't on the board. I was still president of the chamber back then. So I know Supervisor Diana took your request seriously, and we are looking into it. I'm sorry we don't have an answer for you today, but sometimes it takes a little more time because you got to delve into some stuff. So we aren't ignoring you. Dan, Mr. Strauss, I hope I never disrespected you. I don't think I have. I'm sorry you feel disrespected, and I'm sorry that you chose not to come to this public forum as a result. I can assure you, if there's ever anything that you're concerned about, you can always reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. I was, as you saw from when you came up to the podium, I was happy to see you. But if I did disrespect you, I'd like to know what I did. I don't think I have, except for that phone call during this conversation. But please feel free to reach out to me, and I'd love to have a conversation with you. All right? I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay, so Susan, I'm going to refer to Adam regarding the towing contract, regarding if there's any prorated for anything that might show up, to dive deeper into it. As far as those questions went, they're not being overlooked, but I'm going to definitely partner with Adam on that one. As far as the tree law, I think it's really smart to kind of pull out the must-knows. I think you're 100% spot on. There are some really important lines in the law that we can just highlight, and it doesn't have to be a long, dragged-out presentation, but it could be just clear-cut so that the town does know. As far as the yoga goes, I'm so sorry I'm not going to be here this weekend, but I hope to come again. I will do a sun salutation where I'm in Maryland, but it's beautiful that you're offering that for the town, and I'm really glad that you brought that to us. Dan, I'm sorry that you feel the way that you feel. And you're right. I sit up here in a political position. So therefore, no matter what, I'm viewed as a politician. And I'm sorry that I didn't look at it from that lens. And maybe I'm not the best politician, and maybe I'm not the best human, and I'm trying to be better at everything, but I just want to tell you that I'm really sorry, because you're right. When I sit up here, that's my role. And I know it's all of our roles, from Diana all the way down to Mary now, right? And as far as the December, I actually remember being a lot of the voice on that conversation, because in me speaking about, and I use the word, and I'm not saying this, so don't put it on the record, Diana. I use the word all, and I made all of our departments review the actual footprint of the hotel. And that's not what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to go to specific departments. And that was my fault for saying all. And Diana told me that sometimes what happens is, because I speak, or when we speak, I guess I can say this on behalf of everyone, it's actually the minutes for us. Even though there are minutes, and there are times there are minutes, those actual videos that you are referring to are our minutes. And I was really, really curious. And I was also really nervous. And I also told the town departments how I was apologizing for giving them extra work. So I do remember me being a big part of that half-hour discussion, and now trying not to say those big words. Even though it's only 3 letters, it caused a big disruption. And Diana, if you felt that I was coming at you about my all, then
Don't worry about me. I can handle it.
Okay, I just, but regardless, if they felt it, I want to make sure that you didn't feel it from me, because I definitely was very curious about that. And I guess that's pretty much it. As far as the cereal bowls, I did tell my son to ask kids in school. They did want me to ask you if the small box is okay too. I think it would. I told Liam it would be okay. So maybe next week I'll bring them in because they want me to actually put them on TV. So maybe I'll do that. It'll be cute. So I appreciate that, and I gotta probably make that cut trash in half. Yeah, I do. Hear me?
I'm good.
You're good?
You've all covered everything. We don't need to be redundant. Thank
Susan, I was only kidding with you when I said yes and no. We haven't got to that yet with the towing stuff. We are working on it, and
it's crystal clear in the contract.
yeah,
It's
yep.
one short paragraph, so there shouldn't be any issue that needs to be studied.
No, there's a couple things, but
Yeah, but there's a file with the contract, so we just need to make sure we cover the entire file. There's a file with the contract, right?
Yeah.
Every contract has a file. So other things may have transpired that we want the attorney to go through.
Yeah, so we're checking it ever so closely just to make sure. And I hope that I've never disrespected anybody in this room. I don't disrespect people. I don't expect to be disrespected. And when people come up to courtesy the floor, I expect them to get the respect they deserve and to give the respect we deserve. And that's what I'm about. And that's what this board is going to be about. So that's all I have to say. And Dan, once again, thank you for what you do in the town. Many of you have seen Dan out there. He's constantly picking up the trash that disrespectful people leave on the side of the road. And this man goes out there and takes care of it and does the right thing. So thank you for that. And I think that that's about it. Okay. All right. I'd like to motion to reconvene a public hearing, consider wetland permit application submitted by Homeland Towers, LLC for the proposed construction of a telecommunication facility.
So
Homeland
moved.
Towers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
How are we tonight?
Very well. You?
Good. Good.
Do you want me to give a quick sort of this is where we are, or
Sure. Let's do a quick overview and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So I'm Doug Warden. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Snyder and Snyder, here tonight on behalf of Homeland Towers. Homeland Towers is looking for approvals to locate a wireless telecommunications tower on town-owned property. And that wireless telecommunications tower will require wetlands permits. At the last meeting, the town had opened a public hearing on that issue. And at the last meeting, we had been provided with certain comments from the town engineer. The board elected to keep the hearing open in order to give us the opportunity to respond to those comments and also to submit additional material and revised materials responsive to those comments. On January 12th, we responded and submitted revised site plans. And so having done that, and assuming that to the extent that it is done to the satisfaction of the town engineer, we would respectfully request that the hearing be closed and that the board vote on the resolutions that we have been discussing.
Okay, thank you. Adam, we got these basically today, right? This 40 pages or whatever it is from the vendor. I did go through them. I think it was today.
Two.
You're talking about the January 12th?
The lease we've been negotiating for some time.
Right.
Some of the specs, I think, were just updated, right?
There was some additional information that was given to us last week that Dan, the town engineer, had to review, and so we had to consider all that in crafting the resolutions, which were drafted with certain conditions. But so, yeah, there were additional submissions since the last time we saw them.
Yes.
Thank you, Adam. Dan, would you like to come up? I know that there were some nuances, so to speak, that you had crafted into the.
Sure. I guess we had some number of comments that came up at the last hearing, and since discussed it with the engineering consultant for the applicant, I think we've got most of the stuff worked out. I was working with Adam to craft the resolution, and the stuff that we added was just addressing the stormwater. They've got to do something to treat the water quality volume, so we've asked for that. And because we've sort of rolled everything into one, so this is what we would normally have in a wetlands permit, so we're requesting the erosion control bond and the inspection fees. And the only thing I neglected to put in there, which obviously is a prerequisite, but we want to memorialize it in the resolution, is that we also need the wetlands permit from DEC as well. It needs to be issued prior to the commencement of any work on the site. So it sort of rounds off all the conditions we feel are necessary.
And you feel confident that in the time frame allotted to get this done, that you folk, the Homeland Towers, will have these situations memorialized and given to you so you can...
Yeah, no, I think everything's pretty straightforward. The only other issue that I know came up at the last meeting, and I guess the applicant seems adverse to doing it, but just so the board knows, there is natural gas in Hill Boulevard. It's in the east side of Hill Boulevard. I don't know that Con Ed is an unreliable source of fuel, but the preference obviously is to go to propane, so suppose it's really not our issue. There was a long discussion about that at the last meeting.
Yeah.
But so long as, I guess, adequate fuel is provided to keep the telecommunications equipment going during a prolonged outage, how they achieve that, I guess, is on them.
Right.
But I just want to, because that was an unknown at the last meeting, so I just want to make the board aware of where that utility was located.
Okay. All right, very good.
Because that's where they had to dig. That's where they had to dig, remember?
Yeah.
So that's okay.
Do you have anything further you want to add to Dan's statements, or?
The only thing is just to clarify, and I think as we discussed last time, the additional outstanding things he was mentioning would be, I think we confirmed last time, would be conditions of any resolutions, that would be satisfied prior to, I guess, construction.
Okay, very good. All right, I'd like to open this up to public comment. Anyone like to comment on this Homeland Towers? No takers? Nobody want to
I
comment?
think we've talked about it a lot.
I think we talked about it enough last time, right? Is that what it is?
I'd like to make a motion.
getting some
to
smiles
close the
from out
public
there.
hearing, if that's okay.
You may make the motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public
Can
hearing.
I have a
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is now closed. What do you got? Would we like to?
I think.
I've reviewed
Mr.
the papers.
Yes, so did I. Mr. Rodriguez, did you prepare a resolution for tonight?
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
I don't see it on.
No, it's not on there.
It's not on.
It's not on here?
Can we read it in and?
You can read it in if you so choose
It's
to.
quite
It's quite lengthy.
It's quite lengthy, but it is on record with the clerk's office. I mean, we have it.
But it didn't make it on the agenda?
It's not on the agenda.
We didn't know if we were going to actually close it or vote on it tonight, but I think with everything being
Okay.
said,
No more comment.
no more comment. I guess people are good with it.
Are we required to read the whole thing if we read it in, or can we read it
You
and
have
have
to
a vote?
refer to your town attorney for that.
It's
Do you need me to read it?
you could read it. It's fine.
Yeah, I
It
can
can
do
be
that.
read. It's not that long. It won't take that long.
Okay, can we pull it up?
Yeah, sure.
Let's read it. By the time we discuss how to read it, if we should or shouldn't read it, we could just read it.
Neg first.
The documents are on record,
Do
so
the
it's-
neg deck
I
first,
have
and then the
Oh,
resolution.
you have it there.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry.
Neg deck first, and then the resolution.
I'll grab it. Tommy has it right here.
Okay, so you can do it. Ed.
You have it?
Okay, negative declaration, notice of determination of non-significance. Project number, agenda item, wetland permit, home rule request and parkland alienation and lease to Homeland Towers LLC. Date January 17th, 2023. This notice is issued pursuant to Part 617 of the implementing regulations pertaining to Article 8, State Environmental Quality Review Act of the Environmental Conservation Law.
No, Ed. Sorry. You just have to read the approval resolution.
Oh, okay.
Are you going to adopt the negative declaration prior to that?
It's, I believe it's in the approval resolution. He's reading the actual neg deck, which is an attachment to the resolution.
But the
the-
neg
Oh, here's-
deck
I'm sorry,
is
yeah,
first, and then the resolution.
There's a neg deck and there's a resolution.
1 second. Give me a minute.
It's a resolution here, right?
Yeah, both. Yeah, both.
Okay, I tried. I tried to shorten it, and it didn't work.
Further. We want to read the whole resolution? Is that?
That's fine. You can read the finish. Ed, you can finish. It's
Yep.
fine.
Okay.
And then go on to the resolution.
The town of Yorktown, the town, by its town board acting as lead agency, has determined that the proposed action described below will not have a significant effect on the environment and that a draft environmental impact statement will not be prepared. Name of action, proposed wetland permit, home rule request, and parkland alienation and lease of town land, the lease to Homeland Towers LLC, which action contemplates the construction and operation of an antenna support structure. Status is unlisted. Condition negative declaration no. Description of action. The proposed action consists of approving a wetland permit, making a home rule request to the New York State Legislature for the alienation of parkland, and entering into a lease of approximately 11,317 square feet of ground space of property for equipment, wetland mitigation, and landscaping located at Route 6 and Hill Boulevard, Jefferson Valley, town of Yorktown, County of Westchester, New York, and shown on the tax map of the town as parcel 1612-1-31 to Homeland Towers LLC tenant to construct, maintain, and operate a communications tower and related ancillary facilities and improvements for the transmission and reception of communication signals and to accommodate the installation of wireless carriers and town and local emergency service antennas and equipment, including without limitation radio equipment, cabinets, antennas, and related equipment and utilities.
Okay.
Do I need to go into the reason supporting, or? I don't think so.
Just make a motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt
the negative declaration.
the negative declaration.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, whereas the town of Yorktown owns a parcel of real property located at Route 6 at Hill Boulevard in Jefferson Valley, town of Yorktown, Westchester, County of Westchester, New York, and shows on the map of the town parcel 16.12-1-31, herein referred to as the subject premise, and whereas the town of Yorktown the town board of the town of Yorktown desires to lease a portion of the subject premises to Homeland Towers LLC for the purpose of constructing, establishing, and maintaining a radio transmission tower facility for its use, and that of its subtenants, lessees, and customers, which facility includes a tower and associated facilities, including radios, transmitting and receiving antennas, communications equipment, and related cables, wires, conduit, air conditioning equipment, and other apparatuses, as shown on a certain plan for said purpose, as submitted to the town board. And whereas the town board of the town of Yorktown finds that it is in the best interest of the town to lease a portion of subject premise with access as set forth in a certain lease, a copy of which is annexed hereto as Exhibit A, and as shown on the aforementioned plan, herein referred to as the lease area, excuse me, to Homeland Towers LLC, a New York limited liability company having a place of business at 9 Harmony Road, 2nd floor, Danbury, Connecticut, 06810, as shown by the town's consultant, Cityscape, and radio frequency justification report submitted by Homeland Towers. There is a gap in wireless communications in the area of Jefferson Valley. The proposed facility will remedy that gap in service and provide support for at least 4 wireless carriers and the town's public service entities as detailed in the lease and on the site plan. And whereas the construction of the facility and access and utilities also requires a town wetland permit from the town board and an act of the New York State Legislature to alienate parkland based on a home rule request from the town board, and whereas in accordance with Section 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law, the State Environmental Quality Review Act, and 6 NYCRR Part 617 of the implementing regulations, the town board declares its intention to be lead agency and circulated its intention to all involved agencies, including the New York State Department of Conservation, which did not object to the town board acting as lead agency. Therefore, the town board declared itself lead agency in a coordinated review and classified the action to be an unlisted action. And whereas the town board of the town has reviewed the environmental assessment form submitted for the project and all supporting documentation and comments, and whereas the town board of the town hereby issues a negative declaration of significance pursuant to Part 617 of the implementing regulations pertaining to Article 8 State Environmental Quality Review Act of the Environmental Conservation Law, in that it has determined that the proposed action, namely entering into the aforementioned lease, the wetland permit, and the home rule request and parkland alienation, will not have a significant environmental impact, and that the draft environmental impact statement will not be prepared. A copy of the negative declaration is attached hereto as Exhibit B, and whereas a duly noticed public hearing was held and continued on January 17, 2023, all persons interested were given the opportunity to speak. The County Department of Planning and the New York Department of Environmental Protection confirmed that neither has jurisdiction over this project. The project was referred to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, which did not object to the project. The project was referred to and extensively. I may need a pitch hitter here.
Like in grade school.
Yeah. Everybody gets a page.
Next paragraph.
Reviewed by the Planning Board, Advisory Board on Architectural and Community Appearance, Conservation Board, the Town Engineer, and the Tree Conservatory Advisory Commission, which provided comment that have been addressed by Homeland Towers. Whereas the agreement between the parties is for town property not presently being utilized by the town and not anticipated to be needed by the town over the term of the agreement, and the agreement is for fair market value based upon appraisal commissioned by the town and in its best interest of the town and its residents. The subject premise is not feasible to be used as parkland given its location adjacent to Con Edison transmission lines, its small size, and the fact that the vast majority of it's encumbered with wetlands. No further town permits or approvals are required other than the wetland permit being granted herein, and a stormwater excavation and building permit. Pursuant to Section 359.C.2 of the Town Code, wireless communications facilities located on the property owned or leased by the Town of Yorktown shall be exempt from the requirements of this section. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Yorktown hereby authorizes and approves the wetland permit and the lease of the subject property premise with access to Homeland Towers LLC upon the terms and conditions contained in the lease, subject to the approval of the town attorney, annexed hereto to Exhibit A, and incorporated herein by reference thereto. Be it further resolved that pursuant to Section 64(2) of the Town Law, the State of New York, this resolution is adopted by the Town Board of the town subject to a permissive referendum. Therefore, let it be resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to post and publish notice of its resolution in accordance with Section 7, Article I'm sorry, Article 7, Section 90 of the Town Law of the State of New York within 10 days of the date hereof, and be it further resolved that the Town Board, in accordance with Chapter 178 of the Town Code, hereby grants the necessary wetland permit based upon the following findings and conditions. 1. The proposed regulated activity is consistent with the policy of Chapter 178 of the Town Code, and measures have been put in place to preserve, protect, and conserve wetland functions and the benefit they provide by preventing the destruction of wetlands identified on and within the vicinity of the property. The facility is consistent with the land use regulations governed wetlands application. The Yorktown and the local legislation is at least as restrictive as the laws of New York State regarding wetlands protection. The facility is compatible with public health and general welfare and does not require the use of water, nor does it produce any odors, fumes, wastewater, and is unmanned facility requiring only infrequent service visits by a single technician. The facility cannot practically be relocated on the site so as to eliminate or reduce the intrusion into the wetland and associated wetland buffers, as the entire property is encompassed by the wetlands or associated wetland buffers. Measures have been put in place to minimize the degradation to or loss of any part of the wetlands and the water buffer, and minimizes any adverse impacts on the functions and the benefits that the identified wetlands provide, such as the facility and associated access drive have been strategically located within the upland portion of the site. All driveways, turnarounds, areas, facilities, compound area, and equipment pads will be consistent of pervious surfaces. A retaining wall will be installed to prevent grading into the wetland proper. Tree removal has been reduced and represents the minimum required, while 62 caliper inches of trees will be removed. A total of 78 caliper inches will be installed throughout the site of replacement trees. There will be a wetland creation area and wetland buffer restoration in the form of grading and installation of native plantings such as 21 trees, 22 shrubs, 300 perennials, and over 4,000 square feet of native seed mix. Any runoff from the from the gravel compound area will sheet flow through the wetland creation area before discharging to the town and New York State DEC regulated wetland, and the proposed construction of the facility is in compliance with the standards set forth in 6 NYCRR 665.7E and 66S.7G as amended. The permit shall be conditioned on the following requests of the town engineer: provide a detailed proposed retaining wall, post a $2,000 erosion control bond, pay the 8% engineering inspection fee, provide stormwater calculations, and at a minimum provide a stormwater management system to capture and treat the runoff as determined by the water quality volume calculation. Be it further resolved that the town board of the town hereby authorizes supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution, including authority to sign the lease, request a bill number request a bill number and a home rule request with regard to same. That's it.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? One abstain. Any opposed? Motion carries. I got to do this just once. How's that?
Very nice.
Did I do a good job, Dave?
Woke me up.
Okay, good.
Okay, that's it?
And I didn't hit Ed with it, so we were in good shape.
Yes.
Um,
Congratulations.
Thank you all very
Congratulations.
much for all the work you put in.
Go,
long road.
go forth and build.
Thank you.
Resolutions as a whole.
Yep, now we just got resolutions.
Do you want me to read some of them for you?
Yeah, I'm a little dry.
Sergio.
Yeah, just do the title.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're going to proceed with resolutions. You ready, Mr. Supervisor?
I'm ready there,
All
Councilman.
right. Resolutions from the Albert A. Cappellini Community and Cultural Center. We're going to approve the lease of space to the Yorktown Teen Center, subject to a permissive referendum.
Good.
We are going to approve the lease of space to Yorktown Stage, subject to permissive referendum. We're going to approve the lease of space to Yorktown Community Help, subject to a permissive referendum. We're going to approve lease of space to Corporate Children's Center Consultants, Inc., subject to a permissive referendum. From the John C. Hart Memorial Library, we're going to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with Automated Control Logic for on-call monitoring of the library's mission-critical equipment. From the Highway Department,
We have,
we're going to...
we have an amendment to that.
I'm sorry?
We have an amendment to that resolution.
What do you want to hold out your bid, Dave?
Oh, yeah, I want it to be last.
Let's hold it right there and let's make a
Only
motion.
because there's a change that isn't here that you need to be aware of.
Okay, so we'll come back to that one.
Okay, you want to stop right there, make a motion, and then continue?
No, continue with the
Okay.
rest of them, and then we'll go back to Dave's.
We're going to skip the Highway Department Resolution 4 now. From the Nutrition Senior Services Department, we're going to advertise a bid for the purchase of a 7-passenger van conversion for the Nutrition Senior Services Department. From the Parks and Recreation Department, we're going to advertise a bid for pool tile repair for the Parks and Recreation Department. There you go. From the Police Department, we're going to approve recognition of Captain Kenneth Scroy Act of Kindness Day, which is March 16th of every year. From the Town Attorney, we're going to
Could I
authorize...
stop there for just 1 minute?
Yes, sir.
The date was wrong on the prior resolution, so we had to change it. That's the reason we're redoing
Doing it
that.
again.
Also, did you want to mention the flag at half-staff on January 2nd? Part of that? It's in that.
Yes.
Well,
And
it's in there, so...
Yep.
Resolve that, I'll read it. Resolve that Captain Kenneth Scroy be memorialized each year, and that the flag of the United States of America be lowered to half-staff on January 2nd of each year, and that March 16th of every year shall be forever known as the Captain Kenneth Scroy Act of Kindness Day in the town of Yorktown. From the Town Attorney, we're going to authorize the supervisor to sign an amendment and extension for calendar year 2023 for the professional services agreement with Barton and LaJudas, DPC. From the Town Board, we're going to authorize the supervisor to attend the New York State Conference of Mayors on February 5th through February 7th, 2023. We're going to authorize the supervisor to execute the New York State master contract for grants and any associated documents for a $30,000 grant for the Lake Mohegan Green Infrastructure and Stormwater Retrofit Design. We're going to reappoint Christine Dunn as a member of the Parks and Recreation Commission. From the Town Clerk, we're going to authorize attendance at the 2023 New York State Town Clerks Association Annual Conference and Training Meeting to be held in Syracuse, New York from April 23rd to the 26th. We're going to renew Sani Pro Disposal Services Corp., doing business as Suburban Carting Commercial Garbage Licenses for 2023. We're going to renew AAA Carting and Rubbish Removal, Inc. Commercial Garbage Licenses for 2023.
What?
That's for commercial.
That's for
for the
paid
commercial
for
payment.
pickups.
Yeah.
From the Comptroller, we're going to authorize attendance at the 2023 New York State Government Finance Officers Association Annual Conference Training in Albany, New York, March 29, 2023 through March 31st, 2023. From the Water Department, we're going to award a bid for the purchase of a 2023 vacuum hydrovactor. And I think that does it, except for
Going back to Dave's.
Going back to Dave.
Okay, so the only thing, if you'll go back to that resolution, for the award the bid.
Dave, Mike.
Dave, Mike.
Hello.
Actually,
Sorry. If you'll go back to that bid, you'll see there were 3 companies that bid it.
Yes.
There were actually 4. The fourth company was Trias Inc. All right, they came in at the used price of $350 and the new price of $549,948. So that being said, we're going to award the contract to Jack Doheny Company for a new Vector at the cost of $521,821.36. And if you'll then just also do the transfers underneath that for the controller, that's great. Thank you.
Be it further authorized, the controller is authorized to process the following budget transfers. General fund, $500,000 to highway fund balance. From highway fund balance, $21,821.36. To highway equipment of $521,821.36. They had to put that 36 cents in there, right?
I tried to save that. They wouldn't go for it.
All right. Okay.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I say yes to everything. I'm abstaining from one, and that's the one from the town attorney for Barton and LaJudas. I'm abstaining from that one.
Okay. Okay. Like a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night, Yorktown.
Night.
Thank you, guys.